So it's past midnight and I'm in the bathroom, as always. And yesterday something happened that reminded me a little bit about my way of viewing life, and in a way it made me happy because it's so easy to say that you think and believe a lot of things, but it's much harder to act the way you learn, to really do what you think is right. It's much easier to preach for others what to do and not really follow through. But I was thinking about this, about consequences, and I'm a very calm person, and I know that annoys some people, but I think it's overall it's a really good thing to be calm and take it easy, simply because it reduces the damage you can cause others. Because I think it has stopped me many times from really saying what I think in the moment, as I don't get really angry easily. I don't say all these stupid things in the heat of the moment, and I don't have to deal with the consequences of a lot of stuff I think I had managed to create if I wasn't as calm. I'm still really good at messing things up, but I think it still stops me from doing a lot of things and saying a lot of things. And sooner or later you always has to deal with things. If you say something bad and do something bad, at some point you will have to deal with it. Doesn't matter if it's tomorrow or 10 years from now. You need always, it's always catch up with you. Anyway, it's something else I want to teach my children, that I don't believe in disciplining and punishing my children. I believe in letting them taking the consequences for their actions. And yesterday was a really good example with Drew, because we was about to eat in the living room, and I was putting some things on the table and going back to the kitchen, and among things I put on the table was a glass full of water for me. And it was really stupid to put it there because it's toddler around, and of course she wouldn't try it, but she loves water, so I should have thought about it. But I was in the kitchen and I was pouring off this warm water from some pasta, and all of a sudden I realized row in the glass, and she's gonna be all wet. And I was thinking, going through really fast in my mind, is there anything that would be dangerous if she tried to drink this and pour all the water out? Are there any electronic things or something that could be dangerous for her? And no, it wasn't, of course not. So I just finished the things I was doing in the kitchen, and I was 100% sure that she would try to drink from the glass, and of course she did. So all of a sudden she comes walking down the hall crying. I'm trying to pull off her really wet shirt. So I just said, "Oh, are you all wet? Come here, let me help you." So I went into the bathroom and I helped her to remove the clothes and put her dried her off with a towel and put on a dry shirt on her, and brought a towel with me to the living room. And naturally it was water all over the floor, all over the table and floor. And I just said, "Oh, this wasn't that a good idea," and I picked up some books that I was afraid would get wet too, and when I asked Drew to help me to dry it up, and she did. And that was it. No drama, no yelling, no telling her that she shouldn't have done it, or that she'd be naughty for drinking from my glass or anything like that. It went smoothly and so on. And I think I showed some important things in this, and first of all, that I don't start to yell at her when things happens. Secondly, that if she tried to solve a problem and she doesn't succeed, she can always turn to me and I'm gonna help her, which I think is a really good thing for her to know. And most of all, when you do something, you don't get punished for it, but you have to deal with the consequences. In this case, cleaning up the mess, drying it up. because that is the consequences of it. If you pour water on the floor, it's going to be wet and you have to dry it up. To take a child and put it in timeout, which is, I mean, why the hell would you do that with the child who's that age? I mean, we don't understand it, and I think it's something you should be extremely careful with using, because it's not really serving any purpose. I mean, only times I think you should use timeouts are when you feel that way, you are really angry, and the child is really angry, and if you try to solve this now, you just gonna happen, end up in a scream fight or something, and no, it doesn't really work out. You simply you need time to calm down. Then I think a timeout is a good thing, but it should only last for a few minutes. And I usually say that a timeout should never be longer than the age of a child in minutes. So if the child is 4 years old, should never be longer than 4 minutes. And I think that is a very good rule, because a child can't really, they can't estimate in time longer than that. It doesn't really matter for them. After 4 minutes could be 2 hours. It doesn't matter to them, because it's too long time for them to understand. But it's a short moment, maybe I understand. But anyway, I don't think it's something you should use regularly, or even at all, if you don't absolutely feel like you need it. But dealing with consequences, I think that is something extremely important to teach children to have to do. And I do the same when I teach. I never punish children. I just deal with the consequences. Like, if you don't, if something happens, like you've been in trouble in the class or so on, or somebody argument and so on, and the lesson doesn't start, class doesn't start in time, naturally you have to stay those minutes later, because we have to do the things that were planned, and that is like consequences of not doing what we're supposed to in the beginning of the class, which some students are very hard to accept, because no, it's 4 o'clock, I have to go, so that no, you have to stay to 10 past 4, because this is, you created this mess and you have to clean it up. And I think that is, as I said, something I really want to teach Ro, but it's also something that requires that you are a calm person. If you are an aggressive person, or if you have problems to control yourself, it just won't work, and you will most likely end up with a child that acts. If the best scenario is you end up with a child that screams and yells at you the way you do, and just don't behave. And worst scenario is, of course, for the child is afraid of you and stay calm and obey you because it's frightened, and that is horrifying. I think it's important to teach your children to do what's right because it's right, it's not because your parents tell you to do it. And it's what I try to show with all those small things, and that what I think I managed to show my older children too. So yeah, dealing with consequences is something we have to do all life.